Hey, what's going on, guys? Desert, I thought you were oceanside pool or something that you're going by now. How was the video and audio on your guys' side over there? I had a feeling I'd catch you, Hugo. Hey, Sean, how's it going? Can no one hear me? Okay, perfect. I always get super paranoid about that. Alright, so first things first, I need to go share the stream with Discord here. Let's see. So how's everyone enjoying the event or not enjoying the event? I know, Justin. Ever since that first time, I always freak out about it. At least I can see my playback coming through this time, which is a good thing. So today I'm going to be testing Romulan crews. I'm sorry, Klingon crews, and playing with them a bit. My Saladin has been quite the particularly interesting ship. Fully flexible in its usage, definitely. It has been amazing against the event bosses. I'm almost able to clear 2 event bosses um, per ship now. Yeah, I've been sending the PvP completion rates to Panic, because he has been telling me the adaption rates of the event are very high, which basically mean, or I'm sorry, not the adaption rates, but the completion rates, which basically means if somebody starts like the solo, they will finish it, and that's true, but what I want Scopely to take a look at is the adaption rates. How many people are actually picking up the event? Hey, Sherrill. And I agree. The event has been boring for me. It's been, so. I recruited Decius, so that was cool. Decius has been very effective against the event bosses, so I've really appreciated having Decius as a crew member now. Plus, he's a new one I didn't have, and I really like them. The individual stats at tier 1 aren't that great. However, his officer ability, where every time your ship gets hit, he increases your weapon damage by 6%. And he got me through 31 rounds on a boss, cleared the boss, and my phaser output started at 100k, and he brought it to 200k. So he is wonderful for anything that is going to go for, anywhere up into 50 rounds. And the reason it was going so long is because I had Kirk and Spock repeatedly regenerating those shields all the time. So, and then he was repeatedly increasing the weapons attack. So it came into it was a really good pickup that I did. And then of course the other officer I'm working on, let's see, is going to be Mara. I really like Mara. It's not so much her abilities, although I do want to test out her abilities. She can do she increases the weapon damage when fighting interceptors. She increases weapon damage of the ship by 20%, which could, I don't even want to say this, I don't think it's going to be a counter to Gorkin on another Saladin. I don't think it's going to be enough. Possibly with other crew it could be. As long as the ship has a hull breach, she decreases its dodge by 25%, or Mar, as long as the opponent ship has a hull breach, Mar decreases its dodge by 25% at the end of each round. So it's not so much her officer abilities that I like her stats. She has very decent stats, very healthy stats, to really boost up the bottom of your ship. Yeah, Sean, I'm the same way. My peak is 16,000 as well, and I've been buying DCS Amara and then Bortus blueprints. That's awesome, Justin. He says, "Yeah, I have finished the solo when I can. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a chance for me to get the North Star, so I'm wanting to get that done." Very true. The North Star is a great ship if you don't have one. Hey, Brad, how's it going? So yeah, like I said, was telling everyone else, DCS is amazing. Highly recommend DCS. I think he is not going to be effective for a lot of modes of gameplay, but for modes where you're averaging 30 plus rounds, he is going to be amazing. He's better than Asbiter, who I tested, and he's also better than Khan for the long streaks that are going on. DCS has been the best that I have found, because I can almost clear 2 bosses with my Sally with him. I agree, Hugo. It's too bad that she needs a hull breach, because you you have to figure out on who to team her up with as well, and to take a look at I call them the new Klingons, the Klingons with the hoods. Figure out which Klingon you can get there that does a hull breach. Gorkin can do it, but it would, I believe, from an officer would have to instigate that hull breach. So, not too worried about them. I will say though, DCS has been a fresh breath of air for a Romulan that worked. I always like Romulans whose officer abilities actually work. And then let me show you, let's see, retrieving. Let me see if this is the one. I know Hugo's going to want to see this. Let's see, that was with Decius. Okay, so this one did 31 rounds. So as you can see, I'm not going to look at this hit right here because it's the torpedo. What I want to look at is the phaser damage. So it starts at 116,717. And as you can see, Decius is increasing 6% attack every time the ship gets hit. And Spock and Kirk are regenerating the shields. I am trying to get to the bottom of this battle report to show you guys, because it went on for a very long time. Alright, so as you can see, it started at 116k, and DCS kept on increasing attack, and so now the phaser minimum damage was at 186k. So that was a huge bonus, and it was just continually going up and up and up. However, most battles you do only last like 3 or 4 rounds, and so DCS, he'll definitely increase your damage output, but it'll be negligible, unless you can get him at higher tiers. And if you can increase that at like 20% per hit, that is definitely a noticeable increase. I don't know if I can get DCS to rank or to tier 2 in this event. I'm definitely going to try. Definitely going to be working on that, because I believe he needs about 45 shards, and getting 6 per day. I don't see that possibly happening, but I'm definitely going to push for it. I'm not even sure, does anyone know how many days are left? I think there's got to be only like a couple days left or so. But yeah, so I hope DCS is going to be in future events. I would love to tier him up again. He's a really fun character to use, but like I said, he definitely can't be used for everything, but for certain things he's great. Let's get out there. Alright, so let's take a look at my Saladin. So on my Saladin, I've been working with a lot of different configurations. So this is my biggest regret about not going Klingon faction. Their crews. Their crews have so many different characters you can use for so many different things. And you can mix and match the crews together, and it won't really impact a lot. But the main setup you definitely want, and this will definitely take some work for some people who don't have these crew members yet, is Gorkin and Kurla. Gorkin and Kurla, they go together so incredibly well. And I will just review with you guys the captain ability of Gorkin. Gorkin increases the chances of dealing a critical hit by 25% for the first 2 rounds. So he's going to increase your critical hit chance for the first 2 rounds. And then when a ship hits the opponent, and then if you do hit it with a critical hit, Gorkin will cause a hull breach, has a 70% chance to cause a hull breach. Doesn't really do anything other than activate other officer abilities. Kurla, as an officer, he's going to increase the critical hit damage by 30% when firing with a kinetic weapon. So that means a torpedo. He's on a ship with a torpedo. It's a very good torpedo, I should say. So he's an obvious choice there. And then I have put Koth on here because as long as the opponent's ship has a hull breach, Koth increases the damage dealt by the kinetic weapons by 20%. So Koth has a close tie to another crew member. So keep in mind, when you're looking at this and you have, let's say you have your Kara and you really want a really good officer setup, and you have Koth. So you have to have Gorkin, and he has to do a hull breach for Koth's ability to even work. There's a really, really good other individual here who's Claw. And Claw is part of the Cross synergy setup, and he just increases the critical hit damage of the ship by 17% flat out. So You don't need you don't need to have that hull breach. His is just going to be 17% flat out. Now he doesn't start at this. I believe he's at his third tier, so but he is going to be a really good match for Koth. You can swap him out. I kind of like Claw more because I don't want to have to rely on Gorkin doing a hull breach. But I really like these two. I've worked with Asbiter, I've worked with Morale, and I've worked with Chang. I I think they're very underwhelming officer abilities. Actually, Morale, I don't mind. She just increases the total attack of all officers on the ship by 25% as an officer, and as you can see, Gorkin has a 398 attack, and Kurla has a 300 attack. So it's definitely going to, let's just swap out here. It's definitely going to increase it a little bit. It is definitely going to be a little bit negligible. If I put Claw here though, that synergy boost is going to go away. And that is going to go down a little bit here. So there's a 10% boost right there. Let me just catch up on all these messages. I see so many messages going back and forth. Wade, the reason I only have, I like the Kirk and Spock setup because my shields will endure it. I don't see Khan being all that effective in this scenario with the critical hit chance. Right, Hugo, and I don't want to sacrifice that combo with Kirk and Spock. And Sean, I'm gonna show you Chang and Azabiter as well in this stream. I don't like them. Somebody even said to use Kirk, Spock, and Azabiter against the boss, and I did, but they weren't. But she is not as good as Decius. All right, so let's do this. Alright, so let me just read this again. Critical hit damage of the ship by 17%. And Koth increases the damage dealt by kinetic weapons by 20%. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that Hugo just kind of made me rethink. Is Koth is only going to increase the damage dealt by kinetic weapons by 20%. That only happens once every 3 rounds. And that has to have a hull breach. So in this situation, I'm gonna go off on a limb and say the best setup is gonna be Claw, because he's going to increase critical hit damage of the ship by 17%. So that means any weapon, if it gets a critical hit, he's going to increase that damage by 17%. And then we have Gorkin and Kurla as well. So I'm gonna go out and let's see what we can do here. I'm going to stay in the system. These ships are super easy for me to attack. Let's see. Hopefully I can hit an interceptor. Let's go after this battleship here. Oops. And let's take a look at that battle report. That has to be a new record for me. 828,000 damage. Torpedo. Ship is gone. Like, who can absorb that much damage? Nobody. Nobody can absorb that much damage, and pretty sure his shields can't absorb 508,000 damage um, at all. so that was a really good setup, and let's take a look. So critical hit damage. So yep, the very first torpedo was a critical hit, so he increased that damage on it, and then Kurla increased 30% to critical damage with kinetic weapons. So about this ship here is the very first weapon it launches is its disastrous torpedo. And if you can critical on it and you have somebody to boost those critical hits, the damage is ridiculous. Hey, no one shall. Alright, so let's see. Oh, I think I got hit. I'm just hanging out. Let's see. See, that time it didn't critical, so it was only 314,000 damage. But then my phaser did, and my phaser was ridiculous and just completely destroyed him. Oh, here comes another one. Let's see if I got a critical on that one. Nope, but all the abilities activated there. No critical there at all. Let's see. Let's hit this guy over here. Alright, let's see if I managed a critical hit there. Nope, but didn't need to. He was dead after the first hit. Oh, here comes somebody. Let's see. Yeah, Hugo, I have maxed the interceptor research, and that's a good point. I'm going to take a look at the research here, and I'm going to show you guys one thing because Rev Deuce talked about a certain research that was bugged, and I explained to Deuce in our content creator channel that that research in fact is not bugged. It works a little bit differently, so I want to explain how that works to you guys, because I swear by this research. I think it's incredibly important to have if you have any faction ships. Hey Joe. So while I do that, I'm just going to click on that button there, and let's. So did everybody get the upgraded refinery? Our server did, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. Let's see. Let's see. Alright, so Deuce was talking about these faction ship structures, and I don't think I can get Klingon because I'm no. So basically, how it works is it says the cost efficiency for upgrading Romulan ships increased. So you basically don't need to spend as much trit and dilithium on the upgrades as the upgrade states. Nathan, are you on my server? Yeah, Sean, we did. So basically, how it works is, let me do. All right. So basically, you have the titanium need here, and you're gonna need to have that much titanium to do the upgrade. But once you click upgrade, it's not going to use all that titanium. So you actually have to look before and after you click. Right now, my upgrades only cost half as much titanium. I get half of that titanium back. It's really great. It's such an amazing research to do. Highly recommend it. Hey Reaper, how's it going? Oh, Nathan, I feel for you. No, I actually like UFS a lot. They're good guys. Um, yeah, so apparently we got it sometime last night. I did my refining this morning, and it was definitely very nice to have. Oh, Joe, congrats. Atala is a really good ship. Okay, so I showed you guys my ideal crew for an interceptor, and now we're gonna play around and kind of see what we what what the other ones are out there like. Let's see. Some I won't even bother to use. Case in point, Azabiter. Azabiter. I don't like her ability. So her ability is every time the ship hits with a weapon, Azabir increases the armor piercing of the ship by 15%. So this works really well on battleships because battleships have the armor upgrade on it. However, it's so inconsequential. Um, it's so incredibly small that you have to be fighting a boss for you to see any benefit of that. So if you don't have Decius and you don't have Khan, Azabur is a really good officer choice to do on the event boss. Other than that, she's really not needed. And her captain ability is when hitting the enemy with a kinetic weapon, she has a 20% chance of causing a hull breach for 2 rounds on the opponent's ship. So here's a catch 22 to her. If you don't have Gorkin, she is a really good option to use in place of Gorkin as a captain. She will do the hull breach to ignite the other officer abilities around her. But if you have Gorkin, hands down, I would just put her in the bottom of your ship. Let's see. We definitely talked about Koth here, and he increases the damage dealt by kinetic weapons by 20%. I think he's really limited. I like Claw so much more. And then this is the hardest thing about testing out Klingons is everything is based on critical chance. And so it's really hard to compare one test to another, apples to oranges. And so I'm definitely going to be testing out Chang here so you guys can see what he does. Is kind of dumb. To be completely honest, cost captain ability is decreases the time needed to repair the ship by 20% if it is an interceptor. Morale. I actually don't mind. I actually like Morale a lot. She increases the armor piercing of the ship by 30% as captain, but as officer, she increases the total attack of all officers on the ship by 25%. So Morale, she is a really good option to have on any ship. If you put her on any ship, she is going to increase the attack of your captain and other officer a Although I think she increases the total attack of all officers on the ship by 25%. I believe she upgrades everybody. If you watch No One Shell's video, you would see that some officers' abilities actually work below decks. Alright, and Chang. Oh, Chang, so sad. So there's a reason I have Chang in my lower decks. His attack is ridiculous. 638. It's so awesome. Cry Havoc. As a captain, as long as the opponent's ship hull is under 60%, Chang increases the damage of the weapons by 10%. It's so pathetic. It really is. And then as an officer, if the ship deals a critical hit to the opponent's ship while it has a hull breach, Chang has a 40% chance of delaying its next weapon attack by 1 round. So let me break this down. So you have to have hull breach active, then you have to somehow get a critical hit while hull breach is active, and then he only has a 40% chance of delaying its next weapon attack by 1 round. And if you have a ship that does multiple weapons each round, really doesn't do anything at all. I'll play with him just to kind of show you guys how he kind of works, but unimpressive, so unimpressive. I definitely, though, recommend putting him in the bottom of your ship. He will upgrade your stats very well. So out of this group of Klingons, the ones I really like are going to be Morale, Gorkin, and Kurla. I'm not going to include Claw because he's not in this group of Klingons. The rest of the Klingons, not so much a big fan of. And let's see if I'm missing it. Oh, Woltlin. Let's see. If the opponent's ship is a battleship, he increases the damage of the weapon by 10%. This is actually a really good officer to use against bosses. If you're fighting a boss and it's a battleship, definitely put him in your ship and he's going to give you an advantage. And then if the ship is an interceptor, Woltlin increases its dodge value by 25%. More mitigation that may or may not work. Let's see what Hugo is saying. Yeah. Hugo's saying the same thing. That it's going to take so many rounds. And that's the problem with DCS, with officer ability, and with Azabur, is it takes so many rounds. Yeah, Hugo, I agree. I don't use Vixis personally, but Chang is, for being like the main character of the Klingon faction, he's so underwhelming. And so what I'll do is I'll put him up here. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, so I will show you guys Chain now. I'm waiting for an interceptor to come hit me because I think I need them to last beyond my torpedo round. But I will say this. The Cross Synergy group, amazing at countering the Gorkin setup. Alright, so, oh, here comes somebody. Oh, and it's level 28, so that's good. He's only 250k. He might splatter on my windshield. Let's see how we're doing in the event. Let's see. How many people got into the PvP? Ooh, 6 people. Way to go, Scopely. And the bottom 3 have 1 point. Oh my god, I love it. And 2 of them are my guys. Um, Whatever. Seriously. 6 people. And the event is so amazing, right? Yeah, Sean, it just works as a straight refining. So we are the Terran Imperium, and we're in 2nd place. Oh, it's cute how Triumvirate is trying to compete with us. So we have a little bit of a hostility going on with one of their Commodores. Most of the people at the Triumvirate I like. There's a certain Commodore I will not. He's on my perma block. Will not talk with him at all. Very very toxic. And if he jumps on this channel, I will insta block him as well. Um, but yeah, everything else is done. This, as you guys can see, I do my 4 bosses for 2,000 points, and I think I run into random ships, and that's what I do for this leaderboard. Whatever. I have no interest in it. Alright, so let's take a look and see. Nope, I don't think that was the one I'm looking for. Gorkin didn't activate there. And Gorkin's another one that you need longer battles as well. Yeah, because if I critical on that torpedo, the other ship is destroyed. I'm hoping they send a harder interceptor after me. Another 28. The sad thing, Randy, is it could be so much worth it. Um, and that's kind of my message that I continually send to Scopely, is we can definitely make these events fun and engaging and rewarding for everyone, but it's not being done. So do you guys notice that ever since I took my Klingon off, my critical hit damage went down about 200,000 points? Yeah, and Hugo, I'm hoping with this refinery upgrade, that's going to help a lot of players start to get more uncommon. And I think this is one thing that Scopely, hopefully it holds, and hopefully that the uncommon drops are much more, is because they kind of know we're kind of at a standstill in the game right now. And there's a lot of free-to-play players that can't get past levels 20, 24, 26 because of the uncommons that are needed. And then there's a lot of us players who are in the higher tier of the game who are really stuck as well, is because we need so much uncommon, and it's really holding us back from progressing in the game. So I think they're doing this to start to reinfuse much more uncommon and progression in the game. At least that's what I hope their plan is. So I'm just going to go back because Gorkin is a waste of time. And I'm going to, let's see. Actually, For the next crew setup, I may not be able to show it because I actually have to fight a player with it. Let's see. So I am going to assign so we're switching groups here. And let's see, who do we have? So Rukor is only good on explorers. Let's see, where are my other Klingons? So this is the setup that I use to fight against Gorkin in his setup. It's a really effective crew setup to use to mitigate those strong Saladin attacks. However, it only has a percentage chance of working. So Cross decreases the effectiveness of the opponent's captain maneuver by 20%, which seems really low. Let's see. There we go. Cross decreases the effectiveness of the captain's maneuver by 50%, and he decreases the attack, defense, and health of all officers on the bridge of the opponent's ship by 20%. Then Komal, if the opponent is a player, he will decrease the damage made by its kinetic weapons by 15%. And Claw, he will increase your critical hit damage on the ship by 17%. So let's see if anyone wants to play. Dang it, no one is playing. Let me see if I can find anyone on Discord here. I actually have an idea. I think somebody might be waiting in... I have a feeling somebody might be in Constantina. Let's see. Alright, so I'm gonna go hit Aranos. Hopefully he's not gonna be too upset with me. Sean, I will talk about those shortly here. Yeah, so one thing I definitely want to do is I definitely want to start by talking about the ultra rare crew, um, and then from there, I'm actually gonna let me send. Um, so I definitely want to start with those ultra rare crew members, and then I'm gonna work my way down to those other classes. Birdie. All right. So let's take a look at what Sean is referring to. So we tested this group, and then we tested the cross group, but we also have the introductory Klingons to test and take a look at. Oh, actually, they are part of Cross's group. It looks like, yeah. So Sean, just so you're aware, I am testing Komal in this video. I really like him a lot, but I think you might be talking about doing a crew setup with a captain with those introductory Klingons. Is that correct? Okay, Sean. I got you. So, basically, Sean is just requesting I do officer setup using, including the captain with those introductory Klingon crew, which I can definitely work on. And let's take a look. Armor piercing of the ship. So it looks like Vartuk is definitely going to be a captain. Hot Pursuit, though, is a really good ability considering interceptors are the fastest at impulse. So yeah, we'll definitely play with that. Yeah, the only reason, Sean, I haven't upgraded cadets is because their stats. Because if I'm gonna spend officer experience into a crew member, I want to at least be able to use them for their stats below decks. Wade is correct. Definitely max cadet Scotty. He is the one I have maxed. And Hugo says, "Too bad Cadet McCoy does not work at all." Well, his more mature version doesn't work that well either. Even though I have tried to give him the biggest chance at all, but just does not work. A lot of people are saying use Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, and I'm like, no, I've done it. And the funny thing is I got McCoy to tier 3, and I think it's tier 3 or tier 4. He's like 3,500. And I have a Sulu below him. And my Sulu outdoes McCoy every time. And I was using them to fight 900k bosses for missions. Oh, and that is definitely one thing. McCoy Hugo says McCoy only works on in-combat abilities. I tried that too, Hugo. He's crap. I don't like him at all. Until somebody can show me a, a different battle report. I don't like Bones. He can sit at the bottom of my ship for as long as he wants. Alright, so he did destroy me. Look. Didn't even take all that much damage. Let's take a look. What the heck? Oh, that's because he has Harrison. Dang it. He ignored 60% of my shields. And, let's see, yeah. And he got a critical hit. So that was Dunzo. Let's see. But as you can see, it's just a chance for Cross to work or not. It doesn't mean that he's going to work all the time. But if you guys ever have a chance to pick up John Harrison right here, I cannot urge you enough to get him. He is so great. Here you go. I've tested Bones out so many times, and he always lets me down. All the time. So yeah, so there's the cross setup. It's just a chance. It can work. It might not work. If the opponent has Harrison, do not use it. I gotta tell Aranos. Wasn't expecting Harrison. Alright, so oh, dang it. I might need to Alright, so we're gonna get rid of this crew here. And let's see. Let's do Vartuk. Well, he's going to be against players. So Vartuk is a good captain if you're fighting players. Let's see here. Alright, so let's take a look at Claw. And Rooker is another one for players. I'm gonna be hunting NPCs here. So it's not what I wanted. Let's see. Where did she go? There. I'm trying to decide. This is a really hard setup. I really want to use crew members like Vel and who's the other one? Tilan, I think. I think they're both interceptor based. Yeah, she's good for fighting interceptors. And then I believe Vel is definitely yeah, he increases the damage of the interceptor. So I'm gonna kind of break rules here and choose somebody. So if you're looking for somebody at a lower level to use, Vel, he's gonna if the opponent is a hostile, Vel increases the damage made by the kinetic weapons of the ship by 15%. So this is going to be if you're fighting interceptors. I never recommend fighting interceptors because the bleed through damage from torpedoes is so incredibly high. So it kind of goes back. I'm actually not going to use them because I definitely want to do another video on the cadets here, as well as Chen, Gonzalez, Gala, Chev, because I love them for hunting NPCs. They're so great. I am trying to come up with a crew of Klingons, introductory Klingons, and that is turning out to be pretty hard. I believe this one worked. The opponent is oh, that's a player. No, I don't want players. Player again. Definitely, these are all against players. So, let me take a look for these other Klingons. And these are all rare. I think Woltlin is probably going to be one of the better options. Yeah. Yeah, he needs a hull breach. So, once again, we go to Claw. He's going to increase the impulse speed of the ship by 25%. So if you're fighting another player and you need that edge, you need to go faster than them to run away from them faster. He's definitely going to give you a really good edge on that. And he's also going to increase the critical hit damage of your interceptor by 17%. Then we have Morale, and she is going to increase the total attack of all officers on the ship by 25%. And then we have the interceptor affinity. If the ship is an interceptor, he increases its dodge value by 25%. This is all against NPCs. This is not against other players. This is the best setup I could find for the introductory Klingons. All the other Klingons that are great for NPCs are not available in the beginner portion. So this would be my suggestion. I'm just going to read through comments here. Let's see. Wade says, FYI, don't use Vehement to hit a base. I did do that, and I learned my lesson. Do not do that, or you will get stuck on the base. And Sean says he hasn't upgraded any of the cadets except Scotty. And I will definitely do a cadet stream just like this one. I definitely want to get this one because I had done the Romulans, and definitely want to do the Federation. And then we'll move to the cadets. So Hugo says, show your community the damage bonus milestones you need to hit on that Sally by clicking on the word attack. Not sure what that means. So let's see if these ships are strong enough, or the ones in my system, to really show this officer setup. Yeah, my my Sally is flying now. Let's see. So Woltlin, he activated 25% to dodge. So let's take a look at another 28. Well, that's interesting. Sean, they're considered PvP. So if we take a look at this level 28, the first let's see. Let me go back here. Trying to compare with and without Woltland's 25% to dodge. So there I'm mitigating 17,570. It's a hard one to figure out because the crew setups are so different and much different levels. Hugo, have you tested Woltland's mitigation with his dodge? Has it worked? Let me take a look at the screenshots. Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me repair this here. Actually, you know what? While we're at it, why don't we test crew or test the cadets? It has been forever, and I want to say I wouldn't say cross. It would depend. Cross might be good against bases depending on the captains and the ships there. Alright, so should I do Sulu, who increases the attack of all officers on the bridge by 12%. Instructor Spock increases the shield, deflection, armor, and dodge of the ship by 15%. And apparently McCoy does not work. Let's see. What cadets does everybody use? I haven't used them for many months, so I'm curious. Alright, so let's take this out for a spin here. Let's see. Alright, so Uhura lowered the weapon damage of the opponent by 20%. McCoy increased the effectiveness of the captain maneuver. And then Kirk increased weapon damage. Well, Sean, remember, Chen, Gala, and Shev are for explorers, or at least battleships. For this one, they were, I mean, that crew setup I had was pretty decent. I like Kirk and Uhura. It was very decent. But let's take a look at the hostile crew here. Manage, assign, and let's see, where is, I'm just going to do this because I need to find the group. Oh man, discard. I got to pull back a ship here. Manage. Alright, so that's going to take some time because I got to grab Chen off that bridge. So, I do have a question that says, can someone please explain to me how the ability increases the effectiveness of the captain maneuver exactly works? So, I believe it's going to be a 10% increase of the captain maneuver. Confirm. So, for Uhura, I believe since it's 20%, it's 10% of the 20%, so it's 22%. Wade, it depends on your server. So Wade asks a question and says, "Who here has the rules of engagement?" That depends on your server. On our server, it is very straightforward. It is OTL is open to pop whenever you want, and 0 nodes. You send a 2-minute warning. If no response, then you can pop them off. Take a screenshot of that so you can kind of back yourself up. If they move off of it to refresh it, you cannot snipe the node. Alright, so let's see what's in these crates. Come on, give me some blueprints. Blueprints, please. No, that was horrible. That was absolute garbage. 22,000 officer EXP, I like. Interceptor parts, that's good. No good blueprints. Dang it. So while I'm waiting for that, let's see. Man, I just kind of get all googly-eyed over the crew available in this pack because you have Carol. I still need 4 Gorkin shards to upgrade to tier 2. 4. Tier 3 is going to be a nightmare because that's 200. I don't mind Carol, Marcus, Mitchell, Kang, even Charvanek. I wouldn't mind at all. I like Khan. Khan is cool. But, he's alright. So Kang is definitely the one in that group that does the hull breach. And 100% of his crew's attack bonus to accuracy. Yeah, it is too expensive, Sean. It's so ridiculous. This should have been in the event store. So Mitchell's another office or station defender. But I do like seeing the new crew. I think that's cool. I won't be buying it, but I still think it's cool. And I actually stopped buying the Elite Pack, the $100 Elite Pack, because I think that it should be tiered for your level. I think at my level, 200,000 titanium does nothing. Nothing at all. That's one ship repair for me. Then I'm done. I did, Hugo. I don't know how you got to that, though. Everybody keeps retracting their messages. And Hugo actually tried to do it in BlueStacks, and it's not working on BlueStacks. I have a feeling it's something like you hold your thumb over the button or click on it, but it's not coming up for me. Let's see. Can I buy anything yet in the event store? DCS Amara taken. I was so happy to see Carol, and then so sad when I saw it was 9,600 Battle tokens. I was like, first recharge, no. No way. Not doing it at all. And then this uncommon is such a ripoff. Like, seriously? Most of this stuff is not worth it. I was willing to pay 3,600 Battle tokens for a Bortus blueprint. And then DCS and Mara, they were like 600 and 720 for two crew shards, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm not totally gonna get that. But everything else was a waste. Wade, you can definitely try to raid me. I wouldn't suggest it. Because I typically don't forget when I get raided. Yeah, it's not working out for me, Hugo, on BlueStacks. Yeah, it's not working on BlueStacks, Hugo. Nakib, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly or not. Um, Typically, yes, I would get RSS tokens. I don't typically need RSS tokens. I want the crew shards and the ship blueprints. That's where I'm typically going. And I want to save it because they said that these will roll over to another event. Sean. Sean says, Wade, he'll make you famous. Ask my admiral. That's damn right. I'll go and raid you at 2 a.m. Crew stats, gray window on the right site. Right there. There we go. I thought it was coming from the individual crew members. So increase attack rating to increase attack bonus of the ship. Let me put my regular crew on here. And then that's not him. Claw. So it's 70%, it's 1540. At 40%. Wait, you really gonna throw out your power destroyed stat? You know that's worthless, right? You really want to go into stats here? Well, let's just take a look. And I haven't even been trying, so let's see. With my miners out, I'm 51 in power. Resources rated, I'm number 10. And I'm 17,280,000 in PD, and I don't even try. I think that's such a worthless stat. No, here you go. That's a really good. That's a really good point. All right, can finally recall that shit. Let's see. I always chalk up PD to being a jerk. Anyone that has a high PD score and that's all they have, like, as you notice, I'm 21 in PD, but I'm 10th on resources rated. It tells you, like, I only destroy stuff for a purpose. I don't just destroy stuff to destroy stuff. Well, that's because Cheers Boy wanted to get number one in PD, and I don't understand the purpose. But he got it, and he's happy with it, which is cool. Like I said, I don't understand the purpose of PD. Pretty much all, like, my alliance will take a look at your stats, and we'll take a look at your stats in your profile on the leaderboard to kind of get an idea of what kind of player you are when you're about to join us. All right, so we rank 2 the alliance leaderboard. This is what we focus on. We focus on events, and we are working really hard to get to first place. It is definitely an uphill battle because the number one alliance has about 45 million power on us, but we are definitely making great progression towards that. Let's see. Let me go back in there. So Cheers Boy, of course, is in resources rated and power destroyed. Wow, Days just took over Dabo, and so did Motley. Holy smokes. That's so crazy. That is super duper crazy. I mean, these guys have spent so much money on the game. It is just super crazy to kind of see. TCAT really hasn't been spending much at all. And a lot of these players spent a lot in the beginning and have kind of wavered off a little bit. But yeah, it's so crazy. Okay. Uh, let's see. Alright, I should probably put the shield up. Bubble. Oh, officer event. Oh, that's cool. I might actually do that. Let's see. So we will wrap this video up shortly here. I'm just waiting for that ship to get back to do some testing with the NPC hunting crew. This is one thing that I wish, for even purposes of making a video, of if the commute time was just faster. because the commute time is just killing me right now. Yeah, you in the beginning I bought a lot of excuse me, I bought a lot of $5 packs, and that's where a lot of my shields come from. But doing dailies, a lot of people buying packs in my group, a lot of gifts. So yeah, we definitely maintain a lot of shields here. Oh, one thing I can definitely talk to you guys about. So I've been working really hard on doing missions, and I have been I've been working through a lot of them. And the nice thing is that I am going to be able to get either a cavort, not a cavort, I believe it's a Valkus. I have 11,400 Valkus, or possibly a Gladius. I'm not sure if I want the Gladius. I need the Valkus because I don't have a faction miner, and so I'm definitely kind of playing through that because this is only going to cost me 1,500 credits, and I actually might start hunting Romulans for blueprints for this ship. So that is definitely going to be something I'm going to be working out and trying to figure out. But I've gotten so many units from doing missions, and because of my Saladin can take out a 900k boss. I've been able to complete so much. One thing I have found out is these missions for donating, they are hiding so many other missions. So, along with the upgrades to the missions they have done by giving out all these resources, it's definitely not a resource you can keep because you got to reinvest because there's going to be more missions to donate. But it is definitely worth donating to missions because so many other missions open up, especially the mining missions. Definitely do those mining missions. A lot of these I'm definitely getting capped at. I have to go and do a huge mining event of ore, and I have to go and mine 1.5 million ore, which is one reason I might want to get the Valkus. But there's one mission I want to show you guys in particular. So I'm also mining Parsteel for this one because I definitely need that crystal. And let's see, you see that you're getting so much out of these new missions, but you got to put it all back in. But yeah, I have been working on these a lot lately. I've been so bored. You got to do the dilithium mining. 120,000 of the 250. Oh, seriously? Here we go. So this mission right here is pay 150 million Parsteel to the Klingon Magistrate. So crazy. It is so much Parsteel. But I'm willing to do it because I need these Klingon credits. I don't really need the points, but I need the crystal and the rare refined crystal. And more than likely, it's going to unlock other events. So if you have missions that are being held up by donations, I would definitely do them. Definitely start to work on them. A lot of them, I've donated 20 million dilithium to missions, and I got all the dilithium I needed from the combat training. So I can definitely take out this captain, but I'm kind of waiting on it until I run out of my dilithium. What I would say is make sure you manage your resources very closely. Make sure you shield and bubble it up so you don't get raided. If you need resources, go out raiding. Do whatever it takes. But a lot of these missions are going to give you faction credits, faction points, a lot of things that you are going to be needed, uncommons, rares, but the exchange of dilithium and Parsteel and Tritanium is definitely you're gonna earn it and you're gonna have to pay it back. You're gonna earn it and you have to pay it back. So just keep that in mind when it comes to missions. But yeah, I am definitely going to be doing some more missions here very shortly. They have been very entertaining for me lately. I'm kind of stuck because I have a lot of easy missions to complete, but they're in warp 61, which really sucks because right now I have a max warp of 50. I can get it up to 55, but the like for my Saladin upgrade, so I can get it up to warp 50, and with Scotty I can go to a 55. It is asking for 425 gas, which will take me some time. Unfortunately, a lot of things on my base require gas, so I'm going to have to hold off on that. And then I have the impulse drive, which is going to require 900 crystal and about 300 gas. So those things are definitely going to, take some time, but I'm okay being a little bit patient with that, because once I can tier it up and do the next warp drive, I think I'm still going to be held back, because I think I'm going to need like a tier 8 Saladin, which is going to take forever. So hopefully something changes with that in the near future. But with that being said, we can now swap out the crews. Don't want to swap ships. Let's see. Alright, so we're going to do Chen here, of course. Assign her. Group. Let's take a look at Gonzalez again. The opponent is a hostile. Gonzalez increases the damage of critical hits by 15%. Tilan. If it's a hostile, Tilan decreases the damage done by its kinetic weapons. Tilan decreases the damage done by its kinetic weapons by 15%. Vel, he increases the damage made by the kinetic weapons by 15%, so we're going to throw him on there. And Shev, he increases the damage of the energy weapons of the ship by 15%, which, so a Saladin is very unique. And we're going to take a look at Gala. She decreases the damage from its critical hits by 40%, which is really cool. So a Saladin has torpedoes, but they're energy-based torpedoes. They're not kinetic-based torpedoes. So Sheb will actually work. I'm going to use Gala just for the purpose of this video. So we have somebody who's going to decrease damage from critical hits, going to increase I don't know if that's going to work, because if you take a look at this, my torpedo is a phaser turret technically, and it's energy. So I don't know if this is actually going to work. Yeah, Hugo, the incoming tack was because I'm in Klingon space. So we'll definitely, let's test it. Let's do a little testing here. We're going to hit a couple of ships and take a look at the battle logs to see if energy-based works or not. So what I would say typically, this is the typical setup you want to have on your Kara. Is you want to have Chen, Bell, and Gala. Um, because you're firing kinetic torpedoes, so Vel is going to increase that damage. Gala is going to reduce the damage from critical hits, and Chen is going to do energy damage. She's going to subtract the energy damage dealt by hostiles, and she's going to increase the dodge, shield deflection, armor of the ship against hostiles. So let's swap out Vel for Chev. And let's find a like, so 26 and a 27. Let's see here. There's one. Looking for a 27 warship. Zoom out. There we go. Maybe not. Maybe. Shut up. It's a secret. Alright. So we're heading back to the base, and we are going to take a look at... Alright, so level 26 with Vel, I hit a battle cruiser. And did 324,000 damage with the torpedo. So now we're going to look at a level 26 patrol with Chev. So yeah, so Chev did 344,000 damage. So the Saladin is going to be very specific to energy. So it's mislabeled. It should be kinetic, but it's energy. So this is for anyone with a Saladin. You can't use that typical kinetic terminology. You actually have, this is why Sulu works really well on the Saladin, is because Sulu is going to increase the torpedoes and the phasers because they're both energy based. So this is another reason I use Sulu here. And I basically knew that that was what's going to happen here, but I wasn't actually for sure. But yes, so typically you would use Vel on a Kara, because Kara is kinetic based, and usually interceptors are kinetic based. There is a mistype in the Saladin torpedo description, that makes it energy based. So that's going to be the big difference. Sean. So Morcia says, gotta test it though against the NPCs you are attacking. I ran tests on 22 elites. Day 1 of the event, and my tier 5 Kumari could get the most kills per hull using cadets Uhura as Captain Cadet Bones and Tilan as officers with an HHP crew below deck. As long as you don't, and Hugo says, as long as you don't attack other players with Uhura or Komal or Vixis, your energy damage will always stay the same within the damage range of that weapon. And yes, so Hugo says, looks like Chev is the winner for the Saladin. Keep in mind, it's only for the Saladin because their torpedoes are energy based. Do you guys want to watch me take out a boss? It's pretty fun. It's pretty awesome. Let's do it. Let's see. Assign officers here. Sulu down there. I am gonna go and let's see. Decius. Confirm changes there. Swap ship. I can't do that yet. Well, let's see. That'll be good enough. I have gotten the Saladin up to 508k while it's docked. But I use the miners to boost that as well. Alright, so now I'm on my way to take out a boss. 2.381 million. Alright. That's where I'm going to warp in there. Let's see. So yeah, so what I found out is that once when I send my Sally out once, it can do 1.5, and then on the next turn I can do 2.5. Sean, I think it's taken out of consideration altogether, and doesn't take any damage, but also doesn't defend when your ship is tearing up. Wow, this turned into a long stream. I think what I'll do is I'll also turn this into a video as well to kind of show the findings, um, and be very concise with it, because my live streams turn super long, and that is the feedback I get from a lot of people. They're like, I don't want to watch it for 2 hours to get the info I need, and I can kind of see that. So I'll definitely be posting another video with very quickly referencing the crews that we kind of found out in this live stream about what works well with interceptors, especially Klingons. Oh, and good news, by the way, we hit over 700 subscribers. I believe we are close to about 750. So I'm definitely going to be posting a video for the contest for the free Google Play money. And I'll be definitely putting the instructions in there. It'll basically just be, you know, click like on this video, make a comment if you are interested in being entered for the drawing for that Google Play money, and then I will definitely be doing another one for double that, for $50, to get to 1,000 subscribers, um, which would be cool. That's like my immediate goal right now. Oh. By the way, modify your current ship setup, reduce the attack by 342, and increase your health by 140 to get even more shield and hull. Well, that's a good point, Hugo. I was going to put a Romulan on there to bring up, or not a Romulan, but someone to bring up the shield strength. I thought it was a bit weak. So Sean asks, when will I be doing a group stream again? I take it you liked it. Hopefully you liked it. I need to get some more hardware for it. So I'm definitely going to be testing that. I'm also going to start doing some live streams of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 coming out for the Switch. I have to figure out that hardware requirement as well. But I definitely got that game pre-ordered for July 19th. So I don't know if anyone else is going to be playing that game, but I am all over that game right now. So yeah, I definitely needed a little bit more health strength on that one. Let's see if I can take out this one. It's been weakened. There we go. And I got destroyed at the same time. So there you go. I took out the two bosses. One was damaged in half. Um, and you guys can see how quickly I can finish this event up. It doesn't take me all that much time. But if we want to take a look, come on. So that one went for 33 rounds. So my phasers started at 108. And let's see. They're up to 121 there. Already in the fourth round. And let's take a look at, let's see, the 10th round. 143. Yeah, this thing went on forever. So by round, let's see, round 20, they were doing 177,000. Round 25, 178. See what they did in the final round. $211,000 damage, and they started at 100,000. So that's what Theseus did on my ship, and really great officer, lots of fun. Definitely somebody I would suggest getting if you don't have him for this purpose. He works well with Kirk and Spock. So Hugo says, by the way, modify your current ship setup. Reduce the attack by 342 and increase your health by 140 to get even more shield and hull health points. Or you try to increase your attack by 258 to get more damage. And for some reason, these bonus damage is really effective. You can switch the efficiency of your total health points by clicking your Sally, then click Manage and Details and scroll down the health window. Click in that window for the tooltip. And Hugo says he's very jealous. Very true. And the boss doesn't do that much damage. Let's see, I'm just reading the rest here. Alright guys, so we are all good to go here. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. Hopefully you learned a couple of things as I did. But I will talk to you later. Take care, have a good day, and be kind to one another.